You know that song?
No.
Part 2!
Part 2.
Oh, that's 4. Part 2. Part 2.
2.
That's 4 again.
Logan.
Logan!
A movie coming out called Logan.
Not Old Man Logan.
But
Logan.
it stars Wolverine. Right?
Whose name is Logan. And actually not Logan, it's actually James. And they said another one, so it should be called James. James Howlett. That's the new title. James Howlett, not Old Man Logan.
See, that's the thing. I only know the movies. That's it. I didn't even watch the cartoons when I was a kid.
That's what I'm... Wolverine Origins, they said James, I think.
I don't remember. But that don't...
Because Wolverine Origins...
Is that canon still? I thought that one was, like, wiped.
I feel like nothing is... There's not... The only things that are canon is, like, First Class. First Class and...
no.
First Class...
I think,
First Class is done, too, isn't it?
I think... No.
Days of Future Past.
No, but I think X-Men 1 and 2 happened. Right?
No, 1 and 2 didn't happen.
Are you sure? Oh, no, yeah, because this is a new timeline.
1, 2, and 3 are completely 100% never happened. Because Jean is still alive, Professor X is still alive. So 3 killed Jean and Professor X.
3 I think
Cyclops.
but 3 got wiped. But I think 1 and 2 are still...
Do you even hear yourself? How do you wipe out 3 and then 1 and 2 is still there?
Because people like it.
They went all the way back in time to First Class. So
there was like some time thing that must
because
happen.
you're confused because you didn't see Apocalypse.
I didn't see Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, they're starting it over with Jean and Cyclops and everybody as kids.
Yeah, but I saw the other ones.
I know, so that's what everything else is gone because they're rewriting everything. Everything is new, so there is nothing. Like First Class happened, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse. Those are the only 3 things that are like 100%. I think Wolverine is sort of like alternate reality, especially if they're going to Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan in the comics is like an alternate Earth reality. Because it takes place in the distant future where like all superheroes are dead or something. Like, and they just kind of like added that onto this because everybody's like, oh, Hugh Jackman's old. He has to be Old Man Logan. And they kind of like fitted it onto like the Wolverine. There was way too many. Fitted onto the Wolverine trilogy. That's like now only a single movie. I don't even know. I feel like it's a completely different thing. I don't think it's gonna. It might. I don't know.
Alright, so this is what I think. This is the way I have it in my head. I thought that. So X-Men 1, 2, 3 happened. Then they had X-Men Origins Wolverine, which they were like...
Which was a prequel anyway.
Yeah, but they like completely ignored it because it didn't make sense even with any of the canon now, where they had Xavier be walking at the end, but in First Class he killed his legs earlier. I don't know.
But that whole thing was that...
So I think what happened...
He wasn't even like alive.
So I thought our Origins didn't happen at all in the canon. But I think 1, 2, and 3 happened, but then there was some off-screen time travel shift that made it where the ending to 3 didn't happen.
So you're thinking it's some sort of like Flashpoint. It's not a Flashpoint. It's not like they changed something. They went all the way back in time and redid everything differently.
No, but that's the thing. I think that the stories, because it was the same characters. It was the same actors.
It's the same characters, but Past. 1 and 2 have not happened. Like, that didn't happen. 1, 2, and 3 didn't happen. Origins
I'm saying
I feel like
it's canon, but it got like for example, I think it's like Star Trek, right? Where the original series is still canon, but now there was like some shift in time, so it's an alternate timeline. But it's still canon.
The thing with Wolverine Origins, that was like a story of how he ended up with Weapon X, and that is actually like still there because they have Stryker in Days of Future Past and like all the other movies. So he was still in Weapon X, so that was like all the same sort of story. I think what actually happened was
Alright, Logan. Tell me about Logan.
But I'm going to finish what I'm saying. They did what they did with Ghost Rider. Like, they had Ghost Rider 1, just like they had Wolverine Origins, and they screwed it up. and they were like, oh, let's just do Ghost Rider 2 and make like whatever happened in the last movie sort of happened, like what they did with Wolverine. The Wolverine, was that what it was called? The second one?
Yeah,
When
yeah,
he went
yeah.
to Japan. Like the things that happened in Origin sort of happened. Like they're part of his past, but they're not directly related to what's happening in the film. You know what I mean? Like nothing that happened in Origins like swooped into the Wolverine besides him being like, oh, who am I? I'm lost. What is going on? So I feel like they're gonna do the same thing, but like anything else that's been happening is gonna like sort of affect it, but not directly affect it.
Yeah, but there was stuff
Because
that...
how many years in the future, and like all superheroes are dead, and yet they just had an entire movie where they saved everyone, and now there's a movie
that
that's
was
saying
in the
everyone
80s.
is. But now, exactly. But
This is the most confusing timeline I've ever...
Days of Future Past, they went back in time to save the future and all the mutants from dying. And now they're releasing a movie where all the mutants are dead. That's what Logan says in the trailer. All the mutants are dead.
No, he says they're gone.
All the mutants are gone, which means they're dead or in outer space living on Mars. Because it's the future.
Or maybe they're hiding?
Maybe they're hiding. But it's just... yeah. Alright, so let's get into it. Logan! Trailer look kick-ass. Hugh Jackman looks nasty as hell. It's an old, grizzled old man.
Well, that's the thing. He wants to retire the character.
That makes sense. That's fine. Like, that, everything... I feel like this whole thing is more based around them wanting to retire the character on Old Man Logan than it actually fitting into any storyline. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna affect any of the next X-Men movies. I feel like they're just doing this to be like, oh, Hugh Jackman's old, let's just throw this on.
So it's like...
It might be like a spin-off sort of thing, like Deadpool is like sort of connected, but not really connected into anything.
And so fill me in though, like in Old Man Logan, that storyline. So Wolverine's no longer immortal?
I don't even 100% know. I feel like he's just old and like just...
How is he old?
He's just old because it's like that far in the future that he's gotten old.
Yeah, but Xavier's still...
Exactly. That's what I was saying to you before. That's what messes up sort of the whole thing. Because...
Well, I'm saying, like, Xavier looks a little bit older.
In Old Man Logan, Xavier is supposed to be dead because it's supposed to be, like, the distant future. And the character is actually Hawkeye, who's his buddy. And Hawkeye is blind. Like, I only read, like, some article about it.
Wait, Hawkeye from, like, the Avengers?
Yeah, Hawkeye, like, this is, like... It's not really like a mutant-centric story. It's like Marvel Universe story where it's the future and the only like surviving hero is Logan and maybe a few other ones. Like Red Skull is like the president of the world and there's like all these like badlands and sort of like deserty. That's why it was like desert. It's like sort of end of the world, like apocalypse sort of era where everything is screwed and yet Logan is still alive and like living. So Hawkeye's there. Hawkeye is blind. Hawkeye's his buddy. I don't really know the plot or what the hell they're trying to do. This is a great video, guys. We don't know anything, but we're talking about the movie, so it doesn't really matter.
I had that great Johnny Cash cover
Yeah.
of Nine Inch Nails song.
So the whole thing is that it's not supposed to be Professor X. Professor X is supposed to be dead.
All we know...
Because if Logan was old, no one that he knew would be alive because he's old, and Logan takes like 1,000,000 years to get old.
All we know is that he hurt himself today, just to see if he could still feel.
And a pile of dirt or something.
So it's weird because everything we just said sounds like we don't like it.
No, we do like it. But the whole thing
like
that screws it up is that they put in Professor X. Like, I was talking to my sister about this earlier. I showed her the trailer. She was like, no, he looks so gross. And there was like this one clip of like Professor X. Logan looks old and gross. Because they made him look old and gross on purpose.
You should tell Hugh Jackman that your sister...
Hugh Jackman, you did a good job of looking old and gross. Even though you're not. Because you're specimens.
So the Mola sisters think you're old and gross.
In the movie. And I guess I'm one of the Demola sisters in that scenario. So anyway, Professor X is not supposed to be alive because he's old and Logan takes 1,000,000 years to get old. And Hawkeye, who is a younger-ish person, would be old, super old anyway. So that sort of makes sense. Professor X was ancient in the first movie, which means he should be like 1,000,000 times over dead. But there's one scene in the trailer where Logan is standing with X-23 most likely. Right
Yeah,
and
who
sour.
is X-23?
X-23
Is she like the next Wolverine?
She is Wolverine now in the comic book. She's the new Wolverine. She is part of like some Weapon X spin-off that was trying to recreate the experiment. Sort of like with the Hulk sort of being created by trying to recreate the Captain America serum. It was sort of the same thing. They tried to recreate Wolverine. In doing so, they like cloned him, but they cloned him as a girl because they couldn't like change some chromosomes or something. So she's basically a clone of Wolverine, but not Wolverine because she grew up as her own person. She is a clone.
So yeah, there's totally gonna be like some biblical reference that like she's the rib of Adam, and that's how woman was formed from a piece of the man. And
No,
Anita
that's-
Sarkeesian's gonna be all like, that's sexist.
So anyway, Professor X is in there, but most likely he's gonna die because there's a scene with Logan and X-23 and the shovel and no Professor
Why
X.
23? Is that like Heinz 57?
X-23 because it's the 23rd attempt and the only one that
So it is like Heinz 57.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You
that's
think it's 7 Up?
that's who that character is. And it's like Weapon X and all that lovely stuff. Professor X being included sucks and is awesome because Patrick Stewart is awesome. And having Wolverine and Professor X
At the end of the world.
yeah, at the end of the world is a great concept. Like it works for the movie. Like I'm not like trashing it, but like him being alive, like I hope they say something about that. Like, oh my god, how are you still alive? Like where's Magneto and everyone, and why are you like living in a freaking tipped over water?
Yeah, why?
Thing?
What was that? Why is there like a tipped over
Well,
water
this is the
tower?
other thing. Like the guys in this in the trailer, I think they're called Reavers, who want to like wipe out humankind, and they're kind of like cyborg people. So I think they're gonna be like hunting down mutants or something. So that's why they're kind of
Wasn't that kind of like what happened in Days of Future Past?
exactly? That's what I'm saying. That I feel like this is like its own thing. They're trying to do the Old Man Logan storyline in a movie, but I don't know. I don't
I'm
know
so
how.
confused. And I'm not easily confused.
Because
by
that's the
this
thing,
stuff.
like why they went from like the 70s and 80s working towards the 90s, and then they jumped
They
all
just
the way
skip it.
a million years in the
because
future.
X-Men 1 took place.
But that's
in
the
the
thing,
90s.
like they're not gonna go anywhere with this. Like there's not gonna be like a next movie unless they make X-23, and then X-23 is gonna be like in
I
this.
think they are though.
But then this
Isn't that
future, the future timeline is not gonna exist. Like unless Deadpool pops up and like it's Cable and Deadpool and X-23 and like X-Force in the future, like maybe that could be what they're doing. You know anything about Cable? You know what Cable
I know
is?
the name pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
I have friends that are really into the comics.
Yeah, I'm really into the comics.
But
But there's like, it's just gonna like stop. But this movie should be good. It's gonna be a great send off to Wolverine. Like for what it is, it's gonna be good. Patrick Stewart, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, little girl, like fine. It's supposed to be R-rated, which is gonna be good too.
yeah, did you see that one?
Oh
scene
yeah,
in
the
trailer?
Red
And
Band,
guy's like,
Red Band trailer.
yo, it's hardcore.
Yeah, I still have to see the unrated Wolverine, the Wolverine. But it should be good.
One thing that I want to say
about the trailer.
yeah, you still haven't seen. I mean, you still haven't played The Last of Us, right? Hugh Jackman can make a really great Joel.
Yeah, they
The
have
Last
like a
of Us
ton
movie.
of fan-made trailers of like Hugh Jackman in other movies.
But like, he looked like Joel from The Last of Us in that trailer, especially holding a little girl.
Especially like in a post-apocalyptic world.
Yep.
But I feel like they haven't really dropped any hints about what's happening. Like it's just Wolverine protecting this little girl and protecting Professor X.
I hurt myself today.
Yeah, like it's.
If I could.
I feel like they're gonna. If he doesn't die, I don't know what. I feel like they're gonna just do some sort of send off like they did with Metal Gear Solid 4. Like just be like, he's alive somewhere.
Or he's not, and you don't know.
Exactly. Like I feel like that's how they're gonna end it. They're not gonna end it with Wolverine like dead on the floor because that would suck. Don't do that.
I want it to be like a scene. He's dying. He's gonna say to the little girl, "You're Wolverine now."
And she's like,
yeah.
Die, Logan. Give me your yellow mask.
And then some like hard rock playing in the cars. That's how they're gonna do it.
What I'm wondering about is if they're gonna do like what all the other X-Men movies do and throw 20,000 other
Characters into it?
like useless X-Men characters who are like great characters but have like 5 minutes of like actual screen time. I got so pissed on Days of Future Past because I love Blink, I love Bishop, I love Warpath, and like they only used them because it was like Native American, Black, and Asian. Like I feel like that's the only reason they included them, to have like this diverse group of people, because most of the movie was just all white people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they had no point to them, like at all, besides like
I don't
standing
even
there and
remember
then
them.
they were like the X-Men that were in the future fighting and dying like every 5 minutes.
Oh right. Yeah.
Yeah, like all of them are their own characters with own plots and own like substance, and they're just like,
Wolverine,
let's put them in the movie and throw them.
That's
away.
the thing. Do you think the franchise could survive without Wolverine? Well, I guess First Class did.
First Class did. Like I sort of got upset that they brought him back in, even though it was cool. But I was like, they could have did the movies without him. They could have had Days of Future Past without him. But he was like a huge part of Days of Future Past in the comics, so they had to. And like trying to bring the world together.
All right, part 3.
Sure.
Part 3.
Ah!